from PRX.
All right, everybody, this is Scoots. I'm coming to you in bed. I am getting comfortable, and I said I'm going to record this spot for Helix Sleep from the bed I love. Do you love the mattress you're listening to this show in right now? Absolutely love it like I do? Because my Helix fits my sleep needs. Does the mattress you're in suit you? Because what happened for me is I took that Helix quiz at helixsleep.com/sleep, and I got matched with a mattress that fits me. I sleep on my side. I sleep on my stomach. I don't want to wake up with aches and pains, and I like to sleep cool. I don't want to overheat. And so when I took the Helix quiz, again at helixsleep.com/sleep, I got matched with the perfect mattress with me in mind. I didn't have to go to a store. I didn't have to have a salesperson watch me. No, I got to tell Helix how I like to sleep, and they matched me with the perfect mattress. And I love the bed so much. I'm like, let me record from bed. And then when you get your Helix, it comes with a 100-night sleep trial, a limited lifetime warranty. It comes straight to your door with free shipping in the U.S. It's got a Happy with Helix guarantee, so you can rest easy with seamless returns and exchanges. And you deserve the best night's sleep possible. You owe it to yourself. So go over there and take the quiz, because not only are you going to get matched with an amazing mattress, Helix is going to offer you a special deal. And they got an amazing deal right now. Go to helixsleep.com/sleep for up to 30% off. That's helixsleep.com/sleep for up to 30% off. Make sure you enter our show name after checkout so they know we sent you. helixsleep.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. All right, everybody, it's time to talk about tonight's sponsor, Talkiatry. And if you're here at this podcast, you might be looking for some extra help, right? It's not just a rough patch. It's something you need real tools for. And maybe even more than self-help or just talk therapy. Talkiatry connects you with real psychiatric care so you can actually understand what's going on and get a treatment plan that works. Because a lot of times trying to figure out how to get the right mental health treatment can feel overwhelming. And especially if you've got something you're dealing with on top of that. Talkiatry helps you move from, I know this is something I really need help with, to actually having a psychiatrist who listens and gives you a clear, professionalized treatment plan. And I know for me or the people in my life, that's what I want. But I know that in practice, it's not easy to take the steps necessary, and there's a lot of obstacles in the way. And that's where Talkiatry comes in. Talkiatry is a 100% online psychiatry practice that provides comprehensive evaluations, diagnoses, and ongoing medication management for whatever conditions you're dealing with. Unlike therapy-only platforms, Talkiatry is psychiatry. You're seeing a medical provider who can diagnose mental health conditions and provide medication when it's appropriate. All 800-plus clinicians are in-network with major insurers, so you can use your existing insurance instead of paying monthly subscriptions or out-of-network costs. And because you continue with the same provider, you're not starting over each visit. Your treatment can evolve with you, so you're actually making progress over time. More than 300,000 patients have already found high-quality psychiatric care through Talkiatry. Head to talkiatry.com/sleep to complete the short assessment and get matched with an in-network psychiatrist in just a few minutes. That's talkiatry.com/sleep to get matched in minutes. Talkiatry.com/sleep. Thanks, everybody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary. Oh, it's time for the podcaster that says, hey, every once in a while, it's time to stop for a sympathetic yawn. Why? Because it's time for Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. And if you could just listen for a few minutes or remember to check in our website, here's a few ways we keep our show going. All right, I'm so happy to talk about tonight's sponsor, Quince. And Quince is a part of my daily routine. Quince has their superfood greens, which cuts through all that nutrition noise, all the overthinking I would have to do. Oh, if everybody take this, try this. Have you tried that? No, you got to get that. You got to get that and this and that. And I say, I don't know. What's the difference between... Like with Quince Superfood Greens, it's so easy. It's so clear. I don't have to have all of these different supplements. And I've really gone down that rabbit hole. It's exhausting and confusing. But when I take that scoop of Quince Superfood Greens, I know it's going to fill in all my nutrient gaps, support my overall health. It's going to taste good. And I know I'm getting an amazing deal because it's from Quince. Quince Superfood Greens combines 78 high-quality ingredients into just one scoop. It has vitamins, minerals, probiotics, and whole food sourced greens. It's made in the USA and rigorously third-party tested. It's free from soy, stevia, major allergens, and has no artificial sweeteners. Quince works directly with trusted manufacturers, so you know you're getting premium wellness ingredients without the inflated markup. And instead of taking like 6 or 7 different things and still wondering if I'm getting everything I need, if I'm filling in all those nutrient gaps, now I just take the Quince Superfood Green scoop, mix it up, and I know I'm covered. Doesn't it sound so easy? And it tastes good too? And it's a great deal? Fill the gaps your diet leaves behind. Go to quince.com/sleepwithme for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/sleepwithme for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/sleepwithme. Check it out. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Thanks, everybody. Hey, have you been listening to Sleep With Me longer than a year? Do you like getting gifts? Yeah? Have you ever thought about giving yourself the gift of Sleep With Me Plus? Sleep With Me Plus is definitely the best way to listen to the show. There's ad-free full episodes, ad-free story-only episodes. Tons of bonus stuff. It goes way, way back in the archives. Thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. Sleep With Me Plus was built with people that listen to Sleep With Me on a regular basis in mind. It is a gift because the people that support the show and listen regularly, they stay supporting it. I hear from them. Hey, this is my favorite thing to listen to on Sleep With Me Plus. Hey, this is my favorite thing to listen to on Sleep With Me Plus. So you've been listening longer than a year. Give yourself the gift of Sleep With Me Plus. Try it out for 7 days for free. And you can do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Not only will you be giving yourself a gift, hey, you'll get a gift from me. I'll send you a personal video saying thanks, a personal video from Scoots, because you will have the gift of my endless gratitude for being able to keep making this show. Because that's the biggest gift in my life, the support I get from listeners to keep doing this. And then I get to give the gift of good sleep, comfort, sleepy joy, and delight out into the world. Thanks. You can do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. Thanks, everybody. Oh, Mystery Bard. A lot of people help out on the show. Who are they?
Chris Posty Poster Son sounds like an earful. Wrote the theme song. Edits episodes. Carl W. the Legend. Also edits episodes. Ashley, Kenny, Scotty, Jennifer. Runner. Eric and the team at Astound or on the website. I am the Mystery Bard. I do the lullabies, yeah. I do commissions at JonathanMann.net. I'll write a song for you. Any reason at all. You can tell me the story and I'll make it personal. You see the kindness shine straight on through when the listeners form their own Facebook group. Keith, Stacy, Sarah, Julie, and Jennifer. These are your moderators. Get support your scooter on Patreon. Buy the merch and support the sponsors. You can find anything you want at sleepwithmepodcast.com. And we're so proud that we could dance. Rusty Biscuit, Lois, Hannah like banana. Leah does the transcripts.
Thanks, Mystery Bard. Hey, by the way, when you sign up for Sleep With Me Plus, if you've been listening longer than a year, make sure to let me know how long you've been listening. Because we're having this friendly competition. I don't know if you like winning, but I do. I am competitive. And we're having a competition for people that have been listening longer than a year. How many people are going to sign up to support the show from people that have been listening for 1 year, 2 years, 3 years? And whichever group has the most, we're going to have a party. And one of those people in that group will get a lifetime subscription to Sleep With Me Plus at the Boar Bestie level. And it'll be fun. And you could do that at sleepwithmepodcast.com/plus. I'll send you a welcome video, a personal welcome video, saying thanks. And you can let me know how long you've been listening to the show. And be a part of something positive. What do you say we get on with the show? Hey, are you up all night tossing, turning, mind racing, trouble getting to sleep, trouble staying asleep? Well, welcome. This is Sleep With Me, the podcast that puts you to sleep. We do it a bedtime story. All you need to do is get in bed, turn out the lights, and press play. I'm going to do the rest. What I'm going to attempt to do is create a safe place where you can set aside whatever's keeping you awake, whether it's thoughts, feelings, physical sensations, inside stuff, outside stuff, travel, changes in routine. Whatever's keeping you awake, I'd like to distract you from that. And what I'm going to do is send my voice across the deep, dark night. I'm going to use these lulling, soothing, creaky, dulcet tones, rusty meanders, faded sleep dust, tangled tangents. I don't know if I've ever said that. They're over alliteration. I'm the only person. They say easy on the alliteration. It's not ketchup, Scoots. And I say when it's coming out of my mouth, it's like if I could think of something that's alliterative with ketchup, I'm instantly, brain, please. I just say I've caught up with ketchup. My brain caught, but I say, where was I? Oh, also mix-ups, plenty of mix-ups. So here's the thing. If you're new, podcast takes a few tries to get used to. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It's a bit goofy or silly. And yeah, I have gruffish, creaky dulcet tones and rusty meanders, but I'm here to help. I'm here to take your mind off stuff, try to win your trust. I don't operate on the assumption you're going to trust me, because why would you? You're in bed, you're having trouble falling asleep, and give it a few tries if you're skeptical and see if it helps you. But the way I help is let's see. Usually the intros are different every time, but this one I'm already off my normal topic. But if you're new, give it a few tries. I'm going to just do a long intro and then a bedtime story based on another podcast to take your mind off stuff. And it should be just distracting enough to keep your mind off whatever's keeping you awake, but not so engaging that you have to listen. So that's one of the things. You don't need to listen to this podcast. You can listen in any manner you choose or what works for you. So you can you can listen the whole time. I'll be here the whole time. You could tune me out. You could put me on, low. You could play me in the other room. However you wish to listen. But I don't expect your full attention. I guess that's the thing. I don't expect you to listen to me or be super engaged, just to listen at your leisure. So you don't need to listen, but you're also under no pressure to fall asleep. I'll be here about an hour, and tonight's episode will be really, really soothing, I think. So I'll be here the whole time to keep you company, whether you're awake or asleep. I'll be putting in the work, because I really believe that's part of what makes the podcast work, is I'm here the whole time, whether you need to listen to me or not, to help. You're kind of like a friend. Like I call myself your boar friend sometimes, your boar bud, your boar sib, your boar bestie, whatever term you're comfortable with. You could just say, I think some people call me the boring guy or the boar guy. I've heard recently. So whatever works for you. But you don't need to listen. No pressure to fall asleep. I'll be here for an hour. Structurally, what to expect is the show starts off with a few minutes of business. That's how we keep the show going. If you're new, not super important. If you're a regular listener, especially if you fall asleep fast, please go to sleepwithmepodcast.com and look at our sponsors or become a patron, because that's how the show keeps going. But if you're new, not a big deal. So that's a few minutes. Then there's an intro, which we're like 5 minutes into. The intros are usually about 12 minutes of me rambling and trying to earn your trust if you're new. And even that takes like 3 different episodes usually, because again, I'm a skeptical person. I think if you're skeptical about this, it's perfectly natural. And if it doesn't work for you, I'm sorry. Because, yeah, it doesn't work for everybody. But here's the thing. I hope and wish it does work for you. So that's because I really, truly believe you deserve a good night's sleep. And I've been there, unable to fall asleep. So I know how it feels. So structurally, so the show starts off with, 12 minutes of business. Then after that, we're going to have a setup and then a bedtime story, based on a story from another podcast, here on Night Vale Presents. So we'll talk about that, later, a little later in the show. But yeah, that'll be like a meandering bedtime story that ends with some thank yous and good nights. There's a little business between the intro and the story. And that's about it. That's just structurally what to expect. And tonight's method is there's a lot of different methods I use, but yeah, tangled meanders is one. I didn't even realize. Oh no, tangled tangents. My meander was so tangled, I forgot what it was. I do tangled tangents. I don't know how many fisher people we have out there. I did go fishing when I was a kid, occasionally, like from shore, like, cause I wanted, cause I was trying to do my best, Tuck Finn, what was it, Tom? I'm kidding, Huck Finn and Tom Sawyer imitation. And I went a couple times fishing in a boat with some of my older cousins and uncles and my dad. But it wasn't like a major thing we did. And I don't know, but I know there's like fishing line. And I was always getting that tangled. And any kind of line or rope, or now had, cords, I tend to get tangled. It's just a natural part of being me. I'm a natural, tangling tangents and tangling stuff. You say, hey, do you need a hair tangler? Not a detangler. I called up Suave. Actually, don't call, don't just start dialing numbers with Suave at the end. There's a piece of, but I called up their number. I said, hey, at first, don't call Suave and then make VO5 hot oil jokes, because I tried to do that. I said, is the oil hot? And they said, what? I said, the VO5 hot oil, is it hot or not? And then they hung up, and then I changed phones, called again. And they said, sorry about all those VO5 hot oil jokes. I said, it's just too hot to stop. I said, I just, once my mouth gets oiled with hot oil. And they say, that's for your hair. And I said, yeah, I know. So they don't have a number anymore. So then I called another company that makes detangler. And I said, what's your ad campaign? Because all I know is you're next to the, bubble bath stuff. And I said, no offense, I think you do. I think there's pretty much a monopoly nowadays on hair products, for the most part, in the supermarket where I get mine. But I think you're underperforming I said, I may be a shareholder, but, or maybe not, but I think you're underperforming in the marketplace. And then I just started leaving voicemails. I learned after that call to just get all your ideas out into voicemails. So this was like even more tangled tangents. But I said, you could start a campaign with me as the tangler, and then your detangler could fix everything. It turns out that, it's not a I said, what is in there? Water and something. I said, what do you mean it's not profitable? I said, well, what kind of world do we live in where there's no marketing budget for detangler? And they said, can you look around? I said, can you see the message in my message? He said, this whole thing may be your fault, that you've not been marketing detangler properly. And I'm here to fix everything. And they said, how? And I said, well, I'm really good at tangling things. And you never heard, holy cow, I really, these marketing, what are these called? Customer service people. It really is hard to get them to sigh for most people. I said, maybe, do you know anybody from the Bridge of Sighs? I said, I can make people sigh too. And then I said, I'm just really good at tangling things. I tangle tangents for a living, believe it or not. And I said, I could use that in the commercial if you pay me. And I said, you'd have to pay me for the copywriting too. I could blow off, like I could have a tangling spray and we could have a showdown, and I'd tangle tangents for a living. And you could have the spaghetti western music. I said, what about, I think there's an octopus on one of your bottles of detangler or bubble bath anyway, a friendly, kid-friendly one. I said, that could be the detangler. And maybe I would be the one, kind of, causing tangles. Because for an octopus, that wouldn't be good. And then they said, well, I don't think this is a good use of my time. And I said, well, okay, well, free marketing ideas don't come every day. And they said, you really think you're the only person that calls these numbers with your marketing ideas? And I said, well, how many detanglers have you heard from? And then they laughed. They said, well, no. I said, that's right. They said, believe me, I got a successful podcast. I've been tangling tangents going on 5 years. And it turned out it was a thanks or no thanks. And I said, well, my audience will just be the beneficiary of my tangled tangents. So if you're new, it might have sounded like I have a procedure for tangling stuff, but it's just natural. Some people have natural charisma. Some people are just naturals. Some people have a natural glow. Some people are naturally friendly, optimistic, naturally. Some people have natural grace, I've heard, whatever, they move with a lightness, naturally kind. There's a lot of good, I'm naturally, I tangle things naturally. Like if I was with Watson and Holmes and I had a sidekick, it'd say, naturally tangled, my dear Scooter. Tangled naturally, my dear Scooter. And I'd say, that's right. You're going to have to get some scissors to get me out of this one, Watson, or whomever it was. But in the podcast situation, these tangled tangents are where you're kind of following me. I'm taking your mind off of stuff. You could see the label of the body wash or bubble bath in the grocery store, and you stop thinking about whatever's keeping you awake, and then I wind back around and I call up the number, and then at some point you wake up at breakfast tomorrow, and if you and your partner or one of your friends listens, you say, what was Scoots talking about in the podcast again? He's saying, well, VO5 hot oil again. And then they'd say, did he say Vidal Sassoon and giggle? And they say, well, he did, but it was very meta because he saved it for extra punch. And then they said, did he say Vidal Sassoon? And they said, no, he's never said it like that. He usually says it like, va-va-voom, Vidal. He's never said Vidal either. Did he say what in the name of Gore Vidal? Sassoon? And I don't know, I was asleep. You say, what kind of kid becomes a man who's obsessed with VO5 hot oil? You say, thank goodness for Scoots and his tangled tangents, puts me right to sleep. That's the life of a regular listener. And they get constantly applause because they say, where'd you get that natural glow? And they say, it's not natural. It's corny jokes about VO5 hot oil that put me to sleep, believe it or not. They're at the hair place. They say, man, you're holy follicles. I've never seen anything like this. Your split hairs is split because there's none. What happened? I say, well, I slept great. That's what happened. You could thank Vidal Sassoon. I'm only laughing because it's so ridiculously not funny that it cracks me up. Scooter, he's so unfunny. It's almost funny. And I'm here to put a smile on your face, really. That's why I'm so goofy and silly, is because I want to help. I want to lighten the pressure at bedtime because I've been there. So give the podcast a few tries to see if it can help you. Because I work very hard, and I yearn to help you fall asleep. Thank you so much for coming by. And before we get on with the show, just a couple of messages here of how we get on with the show. All right, everybody. So tonight is going to be a special crossover episode with a podcast by Dr. Chuck Tingle here on Night Vale Presents. And I'm going to be doing a reading of this story on Chuck's podcast, which is a adult-only podcast. And not only adult-only, like you have to have a pretty a good sense of humor and an adult sensibility to listen. So you could check it. This story that I'm going to do tonight as a part of Sleep With Me will be as Sleep With Me as it possibly gets. But you could check out Chuck's podcast, which we'll link to in the show notes, which the name of it, much like Alice Isn't on the Big Farm, is Puffed by My Pillows by My Own Podcast, is the podcast by Dr. Chuck Tingle. And tonight I'm going to be doing a reading of Sleep With Me version. So very, very Sleep With Me version. So no worries. In fact, I'm doing this intro after I did the story, so I can't tell you how Sleep With Me and sleepy it is. My pillows are comforted by the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right, is by Chuck Tingle. But I do want to say a little bit about Chuck and his podcast and his stories, especially for those of you that are unfamiliar with it or might be a little bit more on the G spectrum. You're an adult, but you say, well, I prefer G level things. Because if you listen to Chuck's podcast or read any of his stories, you'll quickly see that the DNA like we may be related in somehow. Like when they were the same gene pool was tapped for us. That people say Chuck's is different. His stories are different than mine, and they come at things from a totally different direction. And they're not sleepy; they're stimulating, and they're funny. But they also just have this thing that I'm not sure I've ever encountered before, and this angle about it that I've never encountered before. And if you want to get a taste of it first, because you're a little bit more on that G side, which is okay, like just check out the Wikipedia article maybe about Dr. Chuck Tingle or Chuck Tingle or Tinglers, and then be open-minded and check it out maybe, but you don't have to. Like, you just listen to this episode. But I do want to say that because really, you probably can hear the smile on my face. It's just like so strange to encounter someone that does something so much different than you. But at the same time, you say, how are these similar in some intangible way that even I can't put my finger on? But I say, holy cow, like, this is like what I'm doing, but not at all like what I'm doing. I mean, I think that's what maybe I already said. It's like this shared sensibility or this shared, I don't know, weird delight in a good way. Enjoy this episode because I really enjoyed making it, and I think you'll really enjoy sleeping to it. Thanks, and I'll have a link to Chuck's website, too. And I actually don't have permission to call him Dr. Tingle, paging Dr. Tingle, as we head into this story, paging Dr. Tingle. Hey, everybody, it's Scoots. Have you been listening to this podcast for longer than a year? Yes? Okay, great. Do you love getting gifts? Well, how about this? I'd love to surprise you with a gift. Maybe it's going to be a thank you video, a personal thank you video from Scoots. Maybe it'll be a membership to Sleep With Me Plus. Maybe it'll be something else. I'd love to surprise you with a gift when you give the gift to Sleep With Me to other people by just spreading the word about the show. One of the most powerful, free ways to impact the podcast and change someone else's life. If Sleep With Me is a gift to you, it's changed your life, let somebody know about the show, and then I'll surprise you. Or you could tag me in social media. You can let me know through the contact form on our website, and I'll try to surprise you with a gift. You could get a gift. You could give a gift. What a win-win-win. And make sure to let me know how long you've been listening, because that's important, too. It's part of a bigger fun thing we're doing. So let me give you a gift. Thanks. Okay, this is a Sleep With Me version of original story by Chuck Tingle, and I'll be performing the original story on Chuck's podcast, and you can also find the original story on Amazon or wherever you purchase your ebooks. But this story is my pillows are comforted by the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right. Based on an original story by Chuck Tingle that you could find on Amazon or wherever you purchase your ebooks, or on Chuck's podcast. I'll be doing the original version. I can't believe you're really doing it, my friend Largo says, staring out across the ocean from our comfortable spot on a wooden park bench. The seat below us feels firm and comforting, this dry land more stable than anything I expect to feel for the next few weeks on the water. I'm really doing it, I assure my friend, turning to face him so he can see the seriousness in my eyes. I know you think that it's an interesting idea. I know everyone thinks it's an interesting idea. But I just got to get out of here, out on the water. I wouldn't be surprised if Largo started to laugh at me, but instead he just nods in begrudging acceptance. Things change quickly these days, and even my most optimistic friends have been tossing and turning. I think, they've been needing to sleep with me podcast. Human existence is never easy. It's all so human-y. And lately, it seems like the world's doing everything it can to really put the hue in humanity every single day. And you just want to get in bed and turn out the lights and press play. In a moment of frustration, I took everything I owned and I sold it all. That money was put towards buying a small island just off the coast of California. An outcropping of rocks is so barren and unusable that even I was about to afford it. I'd been told that the possibility of development on the island is slim to none, and that power or running water is completely impossible. But at least I'll be far away from all this getting in bed and trying to get comfortable stuff that makes up our modern world. Out there, away from the mainland, I'll finally be completely alone. I'll miss you, buddy, Largo tells me as if reading my mind. Deep down, some part of me says, man, it's a good time for me to get out of here. I know that setting sail is the right thing to do, but it's been difficult saying goodbye to my friends and family. Right now, Largo's my last goodbye. I'll miss you too, I inform him, but I gotta get out of here. The world is, it's the old handbasket and an HECK, and I want to get a pillow and press play. My friend smirks a bit. It's not so bad. Not so bad, I encounter, and my volume goes up more than I intended. Have you watched The Tube at all? Or they're not even tubes anymore, I say. Could you believe it? I used to call this thing a tube, and now I'm not even sure what it's even made of. Is it LCDs or LEDs? I just got to get, you know what I'm saying? That's it for me. And I'm going screen free. Largo raises his hand in submission. Okay, I understand what you're saying. It's hard to deal with, but it's not all bad. I lift a single eyebrow. Tell me one good thing about the confusion around screens. Friendship, Largo replies. Netflix, communication, movies, TV shows, Olympics, all that stuff we watch on screens together. Friendship, buddy. I let out a long sigh. You could come with me, I tell him. There's enough room on the island for two, and the boat has plenty of food to make the trip. Largo scoffs. I've seen pictures of your island. No thanks, Churn. I nod in acceptance. For the next while, my friend and I sit in silence, enjoying the peaceful motion of the waves before us as they pulse gently across the beachfront. It's a beautiful scene, yet I still can't get the nagging feeling out of the back of my mind that something is nagging, that maybe I will miss screens and friendship. My mind begins in a place of comfort and moves to a more tossing and turning state, puffing pillows and saying, do I have enough pillows on this boat? What's it all about, these pillows? I start to think about the immense size of time, and sweat forms across my forehead. I need to get out of here, I think, again, and out into the ocean, where none of this stuff, where I just calm waves, sweet waves, so calm. Like being on the beach, but you're in the beach. You all right? Largo interjects, breaking through my thoughts. I nod. It's time to set sail. Come on down to the dock and see me off. I stand and start towards the beach, Largo following closely behind. There's a dock nearby where my sailboat has been tied. A modest vessel, but large enough to comfortably get me where I'm going. There's enough supplies loaded onto the ship so that I can construct a small hut when I arrive, and enough food to last me a few weeks until I get my fishing and agriculture situation sorted out. Eventually, my friend and I arrive at the dock, strolling down its wooden planks as the breeze flickers our skin. Oh, that sweet sea breeze. As sweet as a sea breeze degreasing my face. My pores feel open and clean, relieved. They exult, and for a moment, I feel a minor twinge of relaxation. Hopefully, this is a sign of more to come. Everyone at work wanted me to tell you goodbye, Largo offers as we stand by the side of my boat. I can tell he's holding something back, not giving me the full story. Oh, yeah? I question. Largo grins. Well, they said that, but they also wanted me to tell you, don't go. There's so many screens here, so many screens to watch, so many screens to take in, to touch, to clean. You know, screen can reflect to you, or me, or the two of us, or all of us at work sitting side by side during a presentation. But I figured I'd skip all that melodrama if you're not going to listen. The words are kind, but the simple mention of work makes me say, oh, sea breeze, take me away like Calgon used to take away my mother and her mother before that. Okay, then, I finally say, offering Largo an awkward hug. The two of us embrace for a moment and then pull away. Until next time, Largo replies with a slight wave. I untie the ropes and climb into my boat, casting off. Not sure if I should say ahoy or aloha. We both know that I don't know when the next time I'll see Largo or screens again. I may sing Key Largo when I miss him, but I don't have a song to sing to the screens. But we pretend convincingly, nonetheless. And he does say bye, and I say ahoy. And then I decide to do a conductor motion like I'm a choo-choo train, even though I'm in a boat. And now I'm drifting further and further away from the shore. I don't know if it was the pizza tapes where I first heard that or somewhere else. Maybe Jerry Garcia was playing the mandolin, or maybe that was that David guy. And I expect the modern world to drift away as well. But screens and friends like Largo and coworkers said to stay exactly where they started. Give it time, I think to myself. I set a course for my tiny island and then watch the seemingly endless horizon before me, happy to be on my way. Behind, Largo continues to wave until he's nothing more than a tiny pinpoint in the distance. I take a deep breath, the sea air filling my lungs with a natural sense of rejuvenation. Out here, none of my doubts and worries will be able to find me. Out here, it's just me and the ocean. Not another screen for miles and miles. I begin to hum a song, just making it up as I go along, while the ship drifts onward, every second taking me further and further away from the mainland. From screens and screen-related stuff, and I didn't even think about that whole blue light thing till right now, as I look into the sweet, sweet blue sky. And I think I could take a drink from that sky, and the drink would probably taste good. And I realize I haven't thought about screens for 45 seconds till I just saw the screens again. And then I look at the ocean, one giant screen, and I wonder if that's the sky looking back at me, or some mer people are saying, hey, get it going, Churn. Have a great trip. And I say, sure too. And I do another choo-choo motion like a conductor pulling on some sort of whistle. I continue to hum, and soon the minutes turn into hours, the sun moving farther and farther across the sky until it eventually begins to descend towards the horizon line, changing the color of the surrounding blue to a blossomy red and violet. It's a beautiful sight, but in this moment of wonder, I can't help notice a turtle right off the port bow, or is it the starboard bow? I think I'd like to hang out with a turtle, but then I rub my eyes and look again, trying to make out the shape that bobs gently in the waves, some 40 yards off the front of my boat. I'm miles and miles from land in any direction, but it's quite possible this could be nothing more than a log that looks like a turtle. Still, there's something about it that gives me pause, a turtle-like angularity that seems nothing short of wonderful. Closer and closer I get until I'm right upon the object, looking down over the side of the boat with great concern. Hey there, comes a relaxed voice. The figure in the water is now in full view, revealing himself to be the word okay. O-K-A-Y, in huge, well-defined letters. The word is wearing a pair of sunglasses and sipping on a tall glass of chocolate milk as he lays out on an inner tube, half submerged in the sweet, sweet, warm waters of that lovely, lovely blue of the ocean. Oh, my goodness, I stammer. Are you okay? How long have you been out here? I'm great, the word says with a smile. It's you that I'm curious about. I narrow my eyes with great concern. What are you saying? I'm doing great on this boat. Just dandy, floating out here in the middle of the ocean. Screen-free and fancy screen-free. Everything's fine, the word informs me and takes a long sip from his chocolate milk. The living collection of letters savors his taste of this cool liquid, closing his eyes and drinking until the entire glass is drained. So you're just relaxing, I question, still completely taken off guard. The word nods. I sure am. By now, my boat has floated close enough to the inner tube for the word to grab a hold, which he does. Carefully, the sentient word climbs up into my boat, gently finding a place to set his glass, and then sitting casually on the edge. He removes his sunglasses. My name is Courtine James, offers the word, and I'm here to comfort you. I laugh. I'm already comfortable, I inform him. I'm more than comfortable. I've been more than comfortable than I've been in a long time, especially given the fact that I'm out here in the ocean and I don't have to think about LEDs or LCDs or UHD or 8K, just a sweet, sweet ocean. All right, fair enough, Courtine says soothingly. I just wanted to let you know you're going to be okay. You have the power to keep plowing ahead and to be part of the change that you seek, especially if you turn around and go back and learn to turn the screens off when you need to. Me? I retorted. Yeah, right. It's true. You're perfectly capable of overcoming the odds in your daily life and maybe even changing how the world deals with screens. If you continue to lead by example. There's something a little too preachy about the message that Courtine is sending my way, and my eyes instinctively narrow in response. Who are you, really? I ask. Courtine, the word replies. I'm the living manifestation of the realization you're okay, and everything will be all right. I throw my hands up in the air, brimming with, brimming. I knew it, I blurted. Did Largo send you, or was it someone from work? Courtine shakes his head. You manifested me, he explains. Nobody else. I take in a deep breath and let out a long sigh, wondering exactly how to approach this. Well, you're not really relaxing me, Cortine, with your chocolate milk drinking and your proclamation. And how'd you even get an inner tube out of here? I got an island to get to. You got to worry about things less, Cortine counters. Put the tube on the back page. And besides, what's the point of worrying about those things? If you want to do what's right when it comes to screens or to life, worrying and fretting is not turning things off. I'm not just worrying. I'm leaving, I explain. Okay, Cortine counters. I shrug. Well, if you don't like that, you can get off my boat. Cortine nods and then rolls backwards off the ledge and hits the sweet, sweet water with a loud splash. The manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right starts to float away, smiling and waving as he goes. I shake my head, frustrated by the optimism of this unusual being. Not only was Cortine annoying, he was slowing my boat down. And he left his chocolate milk just sitting here. And why was he in an inner tube with water anyway? I collect myself and then refocus on the horizon before me, trying to push away any thoughts regarding this sentient concept floating by himself out in the great wide ocean. Unfortunately, this is a much more difficult task than I would have initially thought. My brain is getting the best of me out here. And I'm wondering if Cortine's going to miss his chocolate milk, and maybe I should give him a ride. The living word might be fine with this situation, but I'm not. Can't just let the word okay tube around on its own, just tubing. I roll my eyes and swiftly adjust course, turning the boat around and eventually returning to the spot where Cortine rolled overboard. The living okay is still floating there in the water, happily as can be after somehow finding his inner tube once again. Are you ready to listen? Cortine asks. Are you ready to listen? I counter. Cortine shrugs. The next few minutes, me and the living manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right have a silent standoff. Neither one of us willing to move the conversation forward. We're still standing off. Yeah, I better talk just to fill the air. Scoot's here, just filling up this air while our main character and Cortine have a silent standoff. Okay, here it comes back. Finally, I crack. Get in, I say. Cortine smiles and then climbs back into the boat once more, patting me enthusiastically on the back when his cold, wet hand causing me to say, whoa, that was a little bit chilly. See, the word shouts excitedly. You still got some hope left in you. I shake my head. Don't make me regret getting you and putting you back on board. Cortine chuckles. You didn't save me because everything's going to be just fine. Well, I couldn't just leave you out there tubing in the ocean when I have a whole island. And you're just 4 letters, and I couldn't understand if you were 4 interconnected letters. Or I was thinking, are you the letters O, K, A, and Y? And how is that related to you being the living manifestation of more than just what the letters in the word represent? And then I was thinking, is it okay to just leave okay to be okay? And what if okay decided you changed your mind about screens and watching a screen here on the boat or on my island or somewhere else out there? You were on a screen looking at the sky, which was a screen at sunset, a beautiful, beautiful screen. And now it's dusk and the sky is beyond Ultra HD, beyond 8K, beyond anything else. But I just thought I'd come and get you. And I also worried you'd miss me maybe. Well, you came along, Cortine retorts. But what if I didn't? What would you have done then? Just paddle with your hands? You don't even have hands. How are you going to paddle with an O and a Y? Because your K and A are kind of sitting in the middle of the tube. A living manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right shrugs. Sure, I might have had to paddle somewhere. Sure, I wouldn't have had a screen to watch. I don't even have anywhere to plug it in, as a matter of fact. And yeah, my chocolate milk's sitting here in its glass, waiting for me to finish it up, to savor every bite, every sip. It's thick enough to bite and chew and savor. And I knew you'd come to pick me up either way. Maybe you even wanted me to splash you with a little bit of water, but I can't just reach overboard and splash you while I'm trying to make a point, because I am the letters OK, A, and Y. I suppose he's right, but I say nothing in return. Sometimes people get out in tubes and they think too much instead of not thinking at all. And maybe sometimes you don't have to do either one. Maybe something in the middle, like at dusk, when the sky and the ocean seem like they're in the middle of one another, explains Courtine. Floating is really easy. We naturally do it, but when you're thinking, you're still floating, but you're not really floating. Well, fine, I get it. Do you really? Asks the living collection of letters. I mean, yeah, I get that. I get what you're saying. I admit. Courtine smiles. What about the fact that you're going to be okay? Do you get that? I shake my head. That's fine. The living manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right says it's okay to be frustrated and anxious and confused. But it's also okay to take a moment and remind yourself that you're probably going to be just fine. When the waves get waving, when the screens have their volume go up during commercials and you say to yourself, what in the hay? Remember, for the most part, things are moving in a pretty good direction, because at the end of the day, love always wins. I hate to admit it, but this optimistic manifestation is actually making a lot of sense right now. So it's okay for me to think about this stuff, and it's okay for me to have feelings about this stuff, and it's okay for me to process this, but it's okay for me to just float too? I ask him, a little confused. It's all okay, Courtine tells me, stepping towards me slightly. It's all going to be fine. The living word opens his arms wide and wraps me tightly in his welcome embrace. What once seemed cold and frigid is now warm, filling me with a sense of comfort I haven't felt in years. I realize now that while the future is still unknowable, I'm currently okay. Worrying isn't going to do me any favors without positive action behind it. Everything's fine, Courtine says. I nod in acceptance. The longer that the living manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right holds me here, however more this comfort turns into something even more powerful, a potent emotion filling me with relaxation, with the essence of the letters O and K and A and Y. I suddenly let out a big sigh of relief. Everything's fine, Courtine repeats. I know it is, I finally accept. I love this world, the world of screens and of work and people and human stuff. I want to be a part of it, an even bigger part of it. I want to go back and I want to fight for love. That sounds really nice, the manifested concept replies soothingly. No more island? No more island, I confirm with a nod. I reach over and I realize our long, drawn-out hug has become something more. And I reach across the letters O, the letters K, the letters A, and the letters Y, something more now. And I take the wheel of the boat and I turn us around to head back to shore. I think it's time to take a snooze, I finally tell Courtine. I mean, we're headed back to the world of screens soon, but it's going to take us a little while to get there. Yeah, I know there's good things on screens, and there's other things on screens. Courtine says, why don't you quit using that word and give me another hug? And I tell Courtine that I have something else in mind, and we go down below my ship, where in the front of the bow of the boat, I made it into a giant squishy bed. Thick foam mattresses cover the floor, covered in the cleanest, the sweetest sheets you've ever seen. And there's blankets there, just the right amount. And Courtine says, what are you doing? What are we up to? And I say, it's time to take a nap. I have the ship on autopilot. And I take the letters O and Y in my hand, and I begin to puff them. And I said, I didn't even realize you were a puffy, puffy pillow. Not only are you a manifestation, you're also a physical, you're like a kind of like a body pillow. Holy moly, I've never been puffed before, Courtine said. And I say, just wait, Courtine, have you ever had someone sleep on you before as a pillow? Because you're about to go from manifestation to enabling a sound-to-sound nap asleep. And Courtine makes a sound that I can only say was a manifestation of the relief Courtine was feeling. And at first I tuck my ear in the O, and I get comfortable. I let my cheek sink in. It's an O-shaped pillow that is also the letter O. And it feels good. And then I take with my right arm and the crook of my elbow, the A and the Y, and I wrap it around my side because that's how I like to sleep, at least when I'm at first doing that. And I could feel, this is the first pillow, a sentient pillow I've had contact with in a long time, and particularly the first time I've slept with a letter-shaped pillows. That is only one pillow. And Courtine says, let your head sink in a little bit more. And I say, okay. And I can't believe it. I'm even more comfortable. My head is sinking in with a little bit more comfort. And I say to Courtine, I forgot to ask, what kind of pillow are you? Like, what's in here? And Courtine kind of laughs, a chuckle, and says, why don't you just relax and unwind? Because what's in here is the essence of everything's going to be okay and you're going to be all right. So let your head sink a little bit more and get even more cozy. And I do. I take my left shoulder and I rub it against the side of Courtine's O. And I really lean in, getting more and more comfortable, more and more snuggled in. I kick my right foot out from under the blankets, and at the same time use the bottom of Courtine's Y to flick the blankets up over my right shoulder so that I'm both got a breeze on my foot and the warmth of the blankets over my upper body. And Courtine says, that's nice. And I say to Courtine, I want you to feel the physical manifestation of two beings relaxing and chilling. And Courtine says, well, I think I'm just supposed to be manifested. I don't think I'm supposed to be observing manifestations. And I say, who's thinking now? I said, you don't have any eyes to close, but you do, Courtine. I want you to sit here against me And then I move the blanket so Courtine can feel like one branch of the Y out under the blanket, like my right foot's exposed to the air, exposed to the comfortable sea breeze just drifting in. And I say, do you notice anything, Courtine? And Courtine says, it feels all right. And I say, it does. And I say, can you hear anything out there? And Courtine says, I don't know. And I say, that's because we're talking right now. I said, while I'm talking, also listen outside of the boat, which because this is a sleep podcast, we have to do both at the same time. And Courtine says, huh? And then I say, do you hear that? And Courtine says, the lapping of the water against the sides of the boats. And I say, yes. What else? Courtine says, the playful splash of a wave breaking over another wave. And I say, yes. And I say, what else? Tell me more. And Courtine says, the call of a seagull saying, I think I see a glass of chocolate milk on that ship, and maybe I'll go down there and take a sip. And I say, yes. Was that a boat-friendly glass with an extremely heavy bottom so it won't tip even if a seagull lands on it? And Courtine says, yeah, that glass is going to be okay. I say that chocolate milk will be okay. And Courtine says, I wonder if that seagull will be okay drinking that chocolate milk. And I say, I observed the glass before we came down here, and it won't be able to get its beak in there, so it's nothing to really worry about. So I say, let's get more comfortable. And Courtine says, I didn't know how I could get any more comfortable. And I say, well, we changed positions now. And Courtine says, why would you change positions when this one's so perfect? And I say, just part of getting comfortable. And I said, have you ever seen a cat before? Because you're cool as a cat, Courtine. And Courtine says, I can manifestate an image of a cat in my mind. And I say, cats like to knead their beds. I do it a little bit slower. So I want to prepare you for what's going to happen next, Courtine. I'm going to hold you a little bit tighter. And then with my right elbow is what it's going to be holding you. My right hand will be cradling your O against my chest. My left hand will be cradling the blankets against my left shoulder. I'm going to kick us into the air, which I call a whale breach. It's just like a whale out in the ocean. And then Courtine gasps and says, I just heard a whale breach out in the ocean. And I said, me too. Get ready. And then I do my patented changing sleep position move, which is to jump my whole body up. And while I'm in the air, I pull Courtine even closer. And I wrap my blankets around my left side. And then for some reason, I kick my right knee out so my legs are like a figure four. And I tuck the Y of Courtine below my rib cage, up against my hip even. So now we're even closer. I also do another move where instead of putting my head on Courtine, I decide to put my head against the cool, soft sheet mattress. And Courtine is just touching my neck into the side of the back of my head. And Courtine says, that was exciting. And I say, yeah, that was a breach move. Sometimes I'll do it while I'm asleep even. And then I kick my left foot to loose the blanket from my left foot so it has some air. So now my left and my right feet are exposed to the sea breeze. And Courtine says, what about me? And I said, well, this is your first nap. I say, well, you're maybe not the best idea for you to be exposed to sea breeze until you get used to napping. And I say, I want you to get even more comfortable with Cortine because we're going to manifest the motion of the boat now. It's rocking and it's churning forward, moving forward towards love, as you said. I said, can you feel the boat? Can you hear the churning of the water, not just the kiss of the waves? Can you feel the rock of the waves and the motion of the boat? Cortine pauses, listening and sensing. I feel the words, muscles or whatever is underneath the surface manifesting itself, both relaxed and tense at the same time. And Cortine says, I feel the motion of even the earth. My mind is blown, and I say, what in the heck? That's pronounced. I don't even have words to describe. I think I do too. And I say, get even more comfortable now, Cortine. I said, what is the motion of the boat saying? Cortine says, proving. I said, proving what? And Cortine says, proving love is real. And I said, that's what we're bound to. I said, I want you to feel the manifestation of the sheets, of the bed, of the boat, of the water, of the sea breeze, of the sky, of the clouds in the sky, of the line on the horizon, of the motion of the boat. What is all of it saying? And Cortine says, you already know. And I said to Cortine as I patted the side of the O, I said, well, you are the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right. But you're shaped like an O, K, A, and Y. So you're the manifestation of that, but you're also the symbol of that, but you're also kind of the representation of that. And I said, we're on the way back to the world, to that human stuff together, the SCR to the E to the E to the N, Cortine. And Cortine says, yep, we are. And I said, you are okay. Really, and I'm okay, and I know I'm okay, and everything will be all right now. Together in this bed, relaxing. We're not drifting, but I can feel the drift because the boat does drift even while it's moving forward. And I say, you know, it would help everyone else out there realize that they're okay and everything will be all right. And Cortine says, a living manifestation for them. And I say, well, I learned something today. I was out there on the water, full of doubt, ready to turn my back on the world. And in some sense, Cortine, my world, my back was turned on that world. Then a funny thing happened. I met a living manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right. And I said, no, thank you. And then something called to me. Maybe it was the glistening of the edge of a glass of chocolate milk. Maybe it was a cool look in your eyes behind those sunglasses. I'm not sure what it was, but I do know something called me back. And then I learned something. And Cortine said, did you realize something? Realize that you're okay and everything will be all right? I said, no, I didn't. I felt that. I felt that awaken in me, stir deep inside me. I felt it resonate within my core and then emanate outward to even my fingertips. And now, as we rest together, it's even more comforting. And Cortine says, are you going somewhere with this? And I say, I am. He says, we return to that world together because I need you, Cortine. You might have awakened this within me, but I need a reminder. Cortine gasps again. And Cortine also said, I think I fell asleep for 1.5 seconds. And I said, well, you didn't miss anything. Why are we going back? And Cortine says to prove love is real. And I kissed Cortine on the side of the O where I assume where Cortine's forehead would be. And I get comfortable with my chin underneath the side of the O, my nose tucked beneath it, right on that muscle between your armpit and your back. I can't figure out if it's part of the A or the K or the Y holding me there, but I know it feels good, real good. And I know I feel okay, and I say to myself, everything will be all right. I'm here. I'm drifting. I'm talking. And then I feel it against my chest, in my chest. I hear it. I sense it. I can almost even smell it. But at my core, that sympathetic vibration. Cortine is asleep, and not just asleep, in that deep, syrupy sleep of a Saturday or Sunday afternoon nap. That sleep where you are comforted by the realization that you are okay and you are going to be all right because you are the living manifestation of the realization that I'm okay and everything will be all right. And you're here with me, and I'm drifting, and the boat is rocking. And I'm just saying it over and over again. I'm okay. This feels good. We could spread this around, and then everyone wouldn't need anything more. We could prove love is real just by, I don't know. We'll work on that plan later. Right now, I just want to enjoy drifting away. Here with an okay is something so much more than that. Sweet, deep, deep sleep as we drift off and return to shore. Good night. Everybody, this Scoots here to tuck you in. And this is a post-roll message where if you're still listening, I have, so where I talk to you about stuff, about keeping the show going. And this message is going out to people that have been listening longer than a year. So if you've been listening longer than a year, this message is going out to you. And we've got multiple messages, so... The first question is, have you been listening to the show longer than a year? And do you like getting gifts? It's okay. Believe me, I like getting gifts. Do you like getting gifts? Okay. Well, if you like getting gifts and you've been listening longer than a year, what about the gift of a personal video from Scoots saying thank you? Or... access to Sleep With Me Plus, a surprise gift from Scoots. What if Scoots was giving you a surprise gift of a welcome video or access to Sleep With Me Plus for free? Well, if you like getting gifts, I love giving them. And I'd love to surprise you with a gift just by spreading the word about the show, letting people know about the podcast. If you've been listening longer than a year, let people know how long you've been listening and tag me on social media or let me know about it through the contact form on our website. And maybe I'll surprise you with a gift. I'd love to. So, be surprised by Scoots. Now, another gift you could get surprised with is, if you like getting gifts, is a welcome video from Scoots, a personal welcome video when you sign up for Sleep With Me Plus. But that's just the beginning of the gifts with Sleep With Me Plus, because if you like getting gifts, like Sleep With Me Plus is like giving yourself the gift of the best way to listen to the show. Ad-free full episodes, ad-free story-only versions of the show that come out on the same day as the full episodes in 2 separate podcasts. So if you only like story-only shows, you have access to almost everything in the story-only format. I think all the way back to like the 500s. So 900-something story-only episodes. If you like full episodes, you get ad-free full episodes. And Boar Friends and Boar Besties get all the way back to episode 2. Boar Buds, you get access, I think, back to the 500-600s. Maybe even further back, because I'm not good at that stuff. If you're a Boar Bestie or Boar Friend, you get all intro episodes twice a month, a new all intro episode. And you get an all-night episode, which is a 4-hour compilation. This month we've got the first 5 episodes of Frank. But Sleep With Me Plus is built with how you listen, particularly if you've been listening longer than a year. It's an amazing gift to give yourself. And then you get to give the gift of being a part of the Sleep With Me community. You get my, not just a thank you video, but really my endless gratitude, because I can only keep making this show. When people give me the gift of supporting the work that goes into the show, you get the gift back. So I don't know, having endless gratitude from Scoots, it's a pretty good gift, I think. So if you like getting gifts, think about signing up for Sleep With Me Plus, or spreading the word and being surprised by Scoots, or both. Because there's always surprises for Sleep With Me Plus members. Now, what about giving gifts? Some of you are like, well, I like getting gifts and giving gifts. Okay. Well, think about this first. Is Sleep With Me a gift in your life? Has it been a gift at bedtime? For your sleep? For your rest? For your daytime? Is it a gift as a part of your life? You've been listening longer than a year. Does it feel like a gift? And what does that gift feel like? Does it give you comfort, relief? Does it break through the loneliness? Does it just put you at ease? I don't know what it feels like for you, right? But does it feel good? Some part of the gift of Sleep With Me, does it feel good? Now imagine giving that gift to someone else, something that feels that good for you. And you get to give it to people. You get to give people that gift in a real way. Change their lives. Like Sleep With Me has changed yours. That sounds like a pretty good deal. Guess that'd be a pretty good gift to get. And you're giving it. And there's tons of ways. There's two ways you could do it. You could let people know about the show for free. And when they discover the podcast and it happens to be, they happen to be the one person that needs that gift, that this is the gift for them, like, you change their life, and that's real. Now, you may have to let a lot of people know about the show, or just let people know how long you've been listening to the show and how it's impacted your life. But when you give that gift to the person that needs it, that's what it came down to for you, right? You needed the show, or you're looking for it, or it was the right fit, and you and the show found one another. Can you imagine giving that same gift to somebody else? Changing someone's life? I guess that's a two-way gift. But what about if you could give that gift to 99 other people who've been listening longer than a year? Because when you support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, those are the numbers. When you support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, you're supporting it for 99 people who have listened longer than a year. And tons of other listeners, too. But think about giving that gift in a real way. Like, really, if you support the show, the podcast will be around a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now. And as soon as you start supporting the show, you're helping us keep it going in a real way. So you're $7, you're $60 a year, $120, $240 a year, whatever. For $60 a year, you could give a gift nightly to 99 other people. And if you love giving gifts, that's pretty good. And think about if Sleep With Me is a gift in your life. Do you want to give that gift to other people? I mean, and you can also give the gift to yourself of having the best way to listen to the show. Sleep With Me Plus was designed with people that listen to the show on a regular basis in mind. It was built with you in mind. If you've been listening longer than a year, Sleep With Me is a gift and a part of your life. And you could give yourself that gift, but in a real way. People have been listening longer than a year. That means it's a pretty big part of their life. 99 other real people around the world. You're not giving them one gift. You're giving them a regular gift. And feel that. Feel what it feels like for you when you think about Sleep With Me being a gift in your life. Feels pretty good, huh? And I bet it would feel pretty good for all those 99 people that count on the show. But they just aren't in a place. They're kind of hoping somebody out there gives them the gift to Sleep With Me. So maybe it's you. Think about it. Think about how good it would feel to give that gift. Okay, Scoots, this is Scoots. I got one last message for all you in bed while I have you. We've talked about giving gifts. We've talked about getting gifts. We've talked about Sleep With Me as a gift. But what about competition? You say, Scoots, what do you mean? Well, we all know about competitive gifting if you have siblings or relatives or friends. But this isn't about competitive gifting. It's about competition. If you've been listening longer than a year, are you competitive? And the first question to ask yourself is, are you competitive individually or part of a team? Do you like winning? Or do you like the thrill of figuring out? I don't know. Sometimes for me, it's like getting close, figuring it out. But are you competitive? It's okay. I am. I'm really competitive when it comes to some stuff. When I come to that thrill. And sometimes I'm competitive as part of a team and individually, especially when it comes to board games. But are you competitive? Because if you are, and you've been listening longer than a year, we're starting a competition right now. Which group is going to spread the most word about the show or support the show, right? People have been listening 1 to 2 years, 2 to 3 years, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I mean, I have my guess. What do you think out of those groups is the most likely group to spread the word about the show, actively participate in a competitive way, or to support the show? Because I think a lot of people would guess, and they'd probably not be accurate. But I'm not going to, I don't know. How long you've been listening, because you're a part of that team. But it really will come down to one individual on each team. Some teams are going to have more players, right? The 1 to 2. I mean, if you're in that 4, 5, 6, or over 7-year category, your team's really going to count on you, because the team with 1 to 2 years, they've been listening less. They have less episodic knowledge, but they probably have a lot more people in that group. Here's the thing. If you spread the word about the show, let me know and let other people know how long you've been listening. If you support the show on Sleep With Me Plus, when you sign up, I'll send you a video. Let me know how long you've been listening for so I can add you to that list. And let's see, it's August now. At the end of September, we'll see which group. I'd love to hear, though. I'd love to hear your guesses, right? Which group of listeners, because I hope I'm wrong, too. But I'm like, man, I mean, it is a balanced competition, right? If you've been listening longer than 10 years, the show's had a pretty significant impact on your life, and you've listened to a lot of Sleep With Me. But if you've listened 1 or 2 years, maybe you're a little fresher. Maybe the show has a more visceral impact because it's becoming a part of your life, and maybe you're more excited about it. So, yeah, this is like a classic competition. And it doesn't, it doesn't even have to be a sports analogy. Your group could become the number of the year. What if you're listening This could be the year of this many years. So anyway, that's another fun thing you could do. You say, yes, because I'm not interested in gift giving or getting, but oh boy, am I interested in winning. Well, I mean, you'll be giving out gifts by spreading the word about the show or supporting the podcast. But yeah, I mean, it is a fun competition. So I'd love for you to partake and be a part of this thing. And I've been going through this long, meandering message to tuck you in. There's a ton of easy ways to do it for free by spreading the word and giving the gift of show to other people, or letting me know how long you've been listening to the show. And that really has a positive impact on the shows you'll hear in the minisodes, or by giving the gift of sleep with me to 99 other people that have been listening longer than a year. That's pretty cool too. So, and giving the gift of Sleep With Me Plus to yourself. By the way, you could give the gift of Sleep With Me Plus to yourself and let me know how long you've been listening. And then you're like, gifting yourself. This is like, you say, Scoots, you're so well, I think I relate I'd say, well, I'd like a pretty good gift for myself. And wait, you said there's a chance to win? Well, technically, I mean, here's the thing. We will have a cake on camera and a birthday gathering with, how about this? I'll get balloons. I'll get a cake with candles. And, I don't know, maybe, who knows what else, but, get out there, spread the word or support the show. Let me know how long you've been listening after you do those things. Because, let somebody know about the show or tag me in social media, and then let me know how long you've been listening to the show. And, I mean, that's the easy way to spread the word. Hey, I've been listening to this podcast for 3 years, and it's been helping me sleep for these past 3 years. I've been through, you don't have to even share this publicly, but I've been through a lot the past 3 years, and I'm grateful for Sleep With Me, because that's the thing. I've been through a lot the past 2 years, and I'm grateful for everybody who listens to the show, sends me kindness, spreads the word about the show, supports the show so I can keep making it, and everybody else that works on the show can keep making it. And, I really appreciate it. So with that, I'll say goodnight. Thanks, everybody.